to another example reading. Today we are talking about the travel lines and marriage lines, because that is one of the most popular questions I get asked is when will I get married? Will I travel? Can I go abroad? So one specific example that I'm using today is a 31-year-old female, and she would like to know when will she get married and if she will travel abroad. So I shall pull up her hand pictures and I'll talk about it in detail. Starting with her left hand, which shows more of what she has done or wanted to do in the past. So we'll talk about the travel first, because we're showing the front of the hand more. So travel lines are lines which come from the lifeline. So if you not know much about palmistry, this is the lifeline. And travel lines are lines which are branches from the line. She has a couple of lines that come right across, so that's not a branch, that is a stress line. So these here are stress lines or worry lines. So the branches are ones that do not start from this area, they start from the red line. Sorry, my phone's beeping at me. Okay, so the red line, which is the lifeline, is where the travel lines start. So I'm using a different color now to show you which are travel lines. So here is one, here is another, and here is another long one. So from the left hand, it shows that there is potential for travel. And I'll talk about the ages. So if I draw a line down from there, that area of the lifeline points to around about the age of 21. So then it goes in like increments of 5, so 5 or 7. So in saying that, the first travel line is potentially around the age of 30. There is another one that, if I draw a line from the middle of the middle finger, these two lines point to around about the age of 30, between 30 and 35. So from her left hand, around about 35 is where it is showing great potential for travel. As you know, palmistry, nothing is a definite destiny, but it is showing the potential, and especially on the left hand, it may just point to what she wants. But there is a good long travel line which can indicate going abroad. So I just wanted to quickly mention how I got the age 35 as well, because on the lifeline, approximately halfway along the line, which is around about there, if you look at the length of it, around about halfway is around 40 to 50, roughly. Okay, so I shall, just wanted to point out travel lines down the bottom here too. On the ulnar edge of the palm, there's a couple of lines here and a line there, which are often seen as travel lines. So that's a confirmation of such. Okay, now moving on to the next photo, which should be the right hand. Yes, right, so we can confirm that there is travel lines on the right hand as well. Going across here is not a travel line, that is an allergy line or an intensity line, depending on the person. I'll just get rid of those. So don't get those ones confused with travel lines. So once again, the lifeline is running along here, and we are looking for branches coming away from it. So the first one I can see, it's a little bit blurry, but there is a line around about the age 40 mark. There's another just beneath it, around 45. And it is potentially another one sometime after that. Most likely, looking at this timing, so if it's 40, 45, 50, probably between 50 and 55. And that is on the right hand showing as the longest travel line. So that is very likely between those ages of 40 and 55 that travel will occur. She does on this hand also have the travel lines on the ulnar edge. So that confirms that it is very likely that her dream of going abroad can happen. Okay, let's move on to the marriage lines. Looking at the left hand first, she has two potential marriage lines. So that can indicate, in many cases, it can indicate two actual marriages. It can indicate two serious relationships. It can indicate a divorce, obviously, if there are two marriages. But sometimes you might be in a relationship that doesn't turn into marriage. So these two lines are both fairly prominent, but they're on the left hand. So they, on their own, they cannot confirm an actual marriage. Excuse me, got a dry throat. So just to talk about the timing, some people time this between those two spaces 60 years, so the middle is around 30. Some people time it as 70 years, so the middle is about 35. So playing it safe, here is between 30 and 35. So this first line would indicate an early relationship, such as 18 to 21. The second line will be beyond 30. So all fair estimate, I would go 33 for the actual marriage line. So 33 to 35 as a safe bet for marriage from the left hand. Now let's see if the right hand confirms these findings. Okay, so on the right hand we have three marriage lines. A short one, which is probably just an unsuccessful union. Then we have a long line. There's actually more than three lines here. There's a third one, and just under the third one is another. There's actually four union lines on this hand. So that can easily confuse the reading. So the first line, so if we're measuring the timing again, so between here and here, so the halfway mark is pointing to the 30 to 35. The first line is indicating the line which didn't turn into marriage. You can see it's much shorter. What that can mean is that there was potentially going to be an arranged marriage, but then it didn't happen. Or there was potentially a relationship that was never to become a marriage. Second line may possibly be a marriage. The third may possibly be a marriage. But because there is another line beneath it, that can indicate that this line is split. It can indicate that there is another person coming into her life during this relationship. So there are many meanings to that. It can suggest a divorce, depending on other signs, which are not visible in this hand at the current moment for her age. And it can like I said before, indicate a change. Whenever a line breaks, it can indicate a change in that relationship. So it can also mean that. All in all, if I'm to estimate a potential time for marriage, looking at both of those hands, it is not before 30. Obviously, she's 31 now and asking when will she be married. So obviously she hasn't married yet. So the ages shown by the right hand show between 30 and 35. I would say at the latest 35. So there you go. I hope you have enjoyed that reading, and I look forward to doing another one shortly. I'm doing 2 today because I've had some time off. Sorry about that, people who are waiting for my subscription videos. I just had a very, very busy couple of weeks. So I'm going to finish this up, and please visit destinypalmistry.com as well, and you can learn much more there. And don't forget, subscribe. Thanks. See ya.